and then we're good.
Yep, now you're good.
Groovy, thanks, hon.
You're welcome.
It's moving slow. There you go.
All right, I got both those stupid waivers on top for you too.
Cool. Well, that's right, these are Dave Weiner. Oops. Somehow I lost it. Post attendee. Well, I clicked off on the stupid, there we go. So bad. Hello, Mr. Lalazern. Hello,
Good,
Mr.
new
White.
judge. I'm good.
Hmm? Oh, hold on.
Judge, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, awesome. All right, let me put my earpiece in here. Okay, I have two, please.
Okay, I've got in the waiting room, I've got Nicole Strauss. And I have Mario, it says Mario Jr. Are those both yours?
Roki.
Okay. Which one do you want to do first?
You can do Strauss first, I guess. She's probably been on longer.
Yeah,
So that would be 20 DT 173.
right.
Hello?
Can you hear us, Ms. Strauss?
Yes,
Or
I
Strauss?
can hear you now.
Strauss, I guess, right? Strauss?
Yeah, Strauss.
Okay. Okay, anyway, we've got Mr. Weiner, Mr. Lalazern from the village, and yourself here. And, before we get started, I have in front of me a document which is, captioned waiver of right to be physically present during criminal proceedings. It says, I, Nicole Strauss, the defendant in the above entitled cause, acknowledge that I have been advised and understand that I have a constitutional right to be present at all proceedings regarding my case. Further, that I have a constitutional right to confront my accusers. Finally, I have been advised that I have the right to a public proceeding. I acknowledge and understand that a state of emergency has been declared by the governor of the state of Illinois in order to prevent the spread of the coronavirus, and in the interest of the health and safety of myself, all court users, staff, and judicial officers during these extraordinary circumstances. And then it states, I hereby knowingly and voluntarily agree to waive my physical presence in the courtroom and my right to a public proceeding, and I agree to participate in court proceedings via video teleconference, and then it's signed by you. Is that true?
Yes,
And you do waive all those things.
correct, yes.
And just so you know, you are actually, this actually is a public proceeding because it's being simulcast on YouTube. So you're kind of a rock star now, I guess. You're on YouTube. Great reason to be on YouTube, but other than that.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's my understanding there's a plea.
Yes, Judge. We have a plea to two charges being 20 DT 173 and 20 TR 7259. That being a DUI and leaving the scene of an accident. On the DUI, the defendant would plead guilty and be placed on 1 year of court supervision. She'd pay a fine of $1,000 plus the court cost. She would obtain an alcohol evaluation within 45 days and complete all recommendations for treatment. She would also complete a victim impact panel, and she would be placed in a year of supervision. On the leaving the scene charge, it'd be a concurrent period of 1 year of supervision, a $250 fine, no additional court assessments. And the other two charges would be dismissed.
I've also got an order here that says the clerk of the court, it's an agreed order, the clerk of the court shall change the below information on the court computer and amend the DUI ticket. In both areas, the clerk shall replace the California license information with Illinois driver's license information. Is that so?
Yes, Judge. When she was arrested, she had a California driver's license. She was issued a notice of summary suspension, but before that went into effect, she went in and obtained an Illinois driver's license, and they applied that suspension to that new license that she applied and received. And for the sake of consistency, and since she no longer has a California license, we wanted all the paperwork to reflect that she's an Illinois resident and she has an Illinois license now, and the summary suspension and supervision will be applied to a new driver's license number.
Okay.
Correct, Mr. Weiner?
Hey, Judge, can I add a couple things? She does have her evaluation, and she is classified as a level 2 moderate from NICASA.
Okay.
That was done on March 11, 2020. And about the license, Larry's correct. I would just add that she did originally have an Illinois license. Then she moved to California, got a California license, moved back to Illinois, and that's the license number we're talking about here.
Okay, and I take it, since she's getting supervision on this DUI, it's first DUI, right?
That's correct. Yeah, we have both the California record and Illinois record, and there was no prior DUIs in either state.
Okay. Now, Mr. Stiles, it's the court's understanding you wish to waive your right to both a jury trial and bench trial and plead guilty to the charge of DUI, Class A misdemeanor, which has a potential penalty of a year in jail and/or a $2,500 fine. Is that so?
Yes.
You understand you have the right to both a jury trial and a bench trial, that a jury trial is a trial where 12 people from the community would be picked, the community being Lake County, Illinois. They would hear the evidence and they would make a determination as to whether or not the state's proven its case beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Or a bench trial, it's where a judge would hear the evidence and make that determination. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Has anybody forced you or threatened you or made you any promises other than what the court has heard here today to get you to waive your right to both a jury trial and a bench trial?
No.
You've had sufficient time to discuss this with Mr. Weiner?
Absolutely, yeah.
Satisfied with his representation?
Absolutely, yes.
Feel that this is in your best interest?
Yes.
You're not under the influence of drugs or alcohol today?
No.
You understand that by waiving your right to a trial, you're waiving your right to confront witnesses that may be called to testify against you, call your own witnesses, or even testify on your own behalf. You understand that?
Yes.
And you're a citizen of the United States?
I am, yes.
Okay. Court will find that there's a knowing and voluntary waiver of the defendant's right to both a jury trial and a bench trial. Do you admit to driving at a time that you're under the influence?
Yes.
The court will find that your admission is a sufficient factual basis to support the plea. This is a final and appealable order, which means you have 30 days to withdraw your plea. If you wish to do so, it has to be done so in writing. If it's granted, basically start all over again, and the matter to be set for trial. If denied, you'd have 30 days to appeal to the appellate court in Elgin, Illinois. If for either of those two procedures you wish to have an attorney and you cannot afford one, one would be appointed to represent you free of charge if you were found to be indigent. Additionally, all records and transcripts of these proceedings would be provided free of charge upon the finding of indigency, and the clerk's office would assist you in filing a notice of appeal. Do you understand that?
I do, yes.
You are under the jurisdiction of the court while you're on supervision, which means if you fail to comply with the court order conditions of supervision, the state can file a petition to revoke your supervision. If they prevailed, you could be resentenced up to the maximum. If you fail to show up when it's set for a hearing, there could be a hearing held without you being present. And if the state prevailed, you could be resentenced up to the maximum without even being here. Do you understand that?
I do, yes.
Usually I would send you right over to the compliance coordinator's office, but we're not all in the same room. So within the next 24 hours, by Monday, you need to contact the their office so that you can be monitored. Mr. Weiner will make sure you get all that information if you don't have it. And that's it. Do you have any questions?
Judge,
No, I don't.
just one clarification, Judge. The order that we submitted, for some reason, it wasn't allowing us to check block 18 on the second page for the evaluation requirements. And when the paperwork was submitted, I was unaware the evaluation had been obtained. So could we just make sure that block 18 is marked and that the level 2 moderate risk DUI project is marked as well, and delete the requirement for the substance abuse evaluation and treatment, and then the language about the 45 days since it's already been obtained.
She was level 2, right?
Level 2 moderate.
Level 2 moderate, and then she's got to do the victim impact panel.
Correct. Yeah, I just want to make sure that that was corrected on that because our form didn't have that when it was submitted.
No, they weren't marked.
I completed that. The victim
Good.
impact panel, I've completed that, yeah.
Good. Make sure then, when you contact the compliance office, make sure they've got proof of your, the evaluation, the treatment, and the victim impact panel. Give that to them so that way they've got you, they show that everything's been completed so that you won't have any issues coming up down the line. Okay?
Okay.
Judge, is there a term date on there? I wasn't sure if it was on the
Yeah.
bottom.
Because
Yeah.
I usually, some people tend not to do that, and I usually then add it if it isn't. I think it was
It should be
the
June 11th,
15th
Judge.
off the top of my head. No, June 11th is the term date, 2021.
Yeah, we submitted that for last week, Judge, but we didn't have everything in order. But
That's fine.
That's fine.
June 11th, 2021 is the termination date. You're all set. Good luck.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Nicole, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Bye.
Bye.
And Roki is the next one?
It's coming.
And Judge, on Roku, I have an evaluation,
Okay.
and that's also a level 2 moderate. I wasn't sure it was checked on the order.
It wasn't, so I'll mark it.
And then, Judge, if we could delete the language about obtaining the evaluation, I inadvertently typed 445 days, it meant to be 45 days. But if we just delete that and check block 18.
Yeah, I checked block 18 and I marked it also. It's
Yeah,
fine.
the fillable form, for some reason, Judge, when he checked block 18, it also checks youthful offender, so we gotta bring that to somebody's attention.
Okay. Is it Roque?
Yeah, sorry, I just jumped in. I didn't have no audio. But I can hear you guys. And can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, before we get started any further, I've got a document here in front of me called a waiver of right to be physically present during criminal proceedings. It says, I, Mario Roque, the defendant in the above entitled cause, acknowledge that I have been advised and understand that I have a constitutional right to be present at all proceedings regarding my case. Further, that I have a constitutional right to confront my accusers. Finally, I have been advised that I have the right to a public proceeding. I acknowledge and understand that a state of emergency has been declared by the governor of the state of Illinois in order to prevent the spread of the coronavirus, and in the interests of health and safety of myself, all court users, staff, and judicial officers during these extraordinary circumstances. I hereby knowingly and voluntarily agree to waive my physical presence in the courtroom and my right to a public proceeding, and I agree to participate in court proceedings via video teleconference. And I take it you executed this and you're in agreement with this, right?
I did.
It should advise you, though, that it is actually a public proceeding because it's being simulcast live on YouTube. So it is
Okay.
actually open to the public. And it's my understanding there is a negotiation. And what is it, gentlemen?
Judge, the defendant would be pleading guilty to the charge of driving under the influence of alcohol. There would be a fine of $1,000 plus the court cost, requirement to complete the level 2 moderate risk program and the victim impact panel. To be placed in that period of 1 year supervision. On the ticket for 20 TR 13471, which is part of signal, that'll be concurrent supervision, a $25 fine, no additional court assessments.
And that's your understanding of it, Mr. Weiner?
Judge, the offer I have was $850 in court costs. What's written on the order? I mean, that's what I sent to my client.
Sentencing order, the financial sentencing order is $1,000, what he signed.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, there's nothing actually on the obviously the order because all we have these days is
Right, I meant the financial.
it is $1,000.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, Mr. Roque, it's the court's understanding you wish to waive your right to both the jury trial and bench trial and plead guilty to the charge of DUI, Class A misdemeanor, which has a potential penalty of a year in jail and/or a $2,500 fine. Is that so?
Yes.
You understand you have the right to both a jury trial and a bench trial, that a jury trial is a trial where 12 people from the community would be picked, the community being Lake County, Illinois. They would hear the evidence and they would make a determination as to whether or not the state's proven its case beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand that?
I do understand.
For a bench trial, it's where a judge would hear the evidence and make that determination. Do you understand that?
I do understand.
Anybody forced you, threatened you, made you any promises other than what the court has heard here today to get you to waive your right to both the jury trial and a bench trial?
No.
You had sufficient time to discuss this with Mr. Weiner?
Yes.
Satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
Feel that this is in your best interest?
Excuse me?
Feel that this is in your best interest?
Yes.
You're not under the influence of drugs or alcohol today?
I'm not.
You understand that by waiving your right to a trial, you're waiving your right to confront witnesses that may be called to testify against you, call your own witnesses, or even testify on your own behalf.
I understand.
And are you a citizen of the United States?
I am.
Okay, the court will find that there's a knowing and voluntary waiver of the defendant's right to both the jury trial and a bench trial. Do you admit that you were driving at a time that you were under the influence?
I was.
Court will find that there's your admission is a sufficient factual basis to support the plea. This is a final and appealable order, which means you have 30 days to withdraw your plea. If you wish to do so, it has to be done so in writing. If it's granted, basically start all over again. The matter to be set for trial. If denied, you'd have 30 days to appeal to the appellate court in Elgin, Illinois. If for either of those two procedures you wish to have an attorney, you cannot afford one. One would be appointed to represent you free of charge if you were found to be indigent. Additionally, all records and transcripts of these proceedings would be provided free of charge upon the finding of indigency, and the clerk's office would assist you in filing a notice of appeal. Do you understand that?
I understand.
You are under the jurisdiction of the court while you're on supervision, which means if you fail to comply with the court order conditions of supervision, the state could file a petition to revoke your supervision. If they prevailed, you could be resentenced up to the maximum. If you fail to show up when it's set for a hearing, there could be a hearing held without you being present. And if the state prevailed, you could be resentenced without even being here. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Okay, and then usually I would have you go right over to the compliance coordinator's office. Right now, obviously, we're not live, so within the next 24 hours, well, by Monday, you should contact the compliance coordinator's office so they can monitor your progress, and Mr. Weiner will help you out with that as far as phone calls and those types of things. Anything else from either side?
Judge, I just note my copy of the order on the first page of the sentencing order, the supervision block at the top of the page is not marked. I think we again had a fillable.
Let's see.
The fillable form was acting weird that day.
Okay, I'll mark it.
Thank you, Judge.
And the term date's the same, June 11, 2020?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, June 11th. You're all set? Good luck.
Judge.
Okay, thank you, Judge. Have a great day.
Thank you.
too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.